Erev Tov, good evening. Tonight's class is sponsored by Mr. Roni Fluxman in memory of his mother, Tzipora, Chaya, bat Rafael Aliza. Also his father-in-law, Berel ben Frank. May the Shaul should be Le'elu Nishmatam, Teheh Nishmatam Tzura B'tzora Haim Amen. Also, this class is sponsored by Mr. Chalouh for the success of Roni Fluxman, that Bezat Hashem should succeed in everything he does. We're up to Sefer Shmuel, Alef, Perek Chaf. The last time we spoke about this chapter was a few weeks ago, before Purim, and we started the Perek, and we start by Pasuk Yud Het. That's the Haftarah of Mahar Chodesh. Usually when we have Rosh Chodesh on Sunday, so the Shabbat before, we say this Haftarah. It's called Haftarat Mahar Chodesh. This is very common Haftarah that we read. So therefore we'll try to finish it today. So today's topic is going to be about Haftarat Mahar Chodesh. Let's learn a little bit about the background of this chapter. So we know by now that Shaul was chasing David. And the last thing we know is he ran away from Shaul. Shaul wanted to kill him when he sent his army, his troops, to get him from his house. And his wife Michal, she helped David to flee, to escape, which he did, and he ended up by Shmuel. And right after, we find him back by Shaul. That was only because of Yonatan. Yonatan tried to bring a peace between Shaul and David. It seems that it didn't work. And now David, he wants to run away forever. He doesn't want to be there. So he tells Yonatan, look, I know that your father wants to kill me and I want to run away. And Yonatan tells him, look, why to rush so quick? Let me find out what's my father's opinion. Let me find out where is he up to, and let's take it from there. David tells Yonatan, how would I know? And he tells him, well, my father is very open with me, and if there's anything, he will tell me. I'm the closest person to him. For sure, he's going to tell me. So here we go. Yonatan tells David, if there's anything, I will let you know. So here we're going to make a deal. And he tells him, look, Mahar is Rosh Chodesh. Tomorrow is Rosh Chodesh. Back in the days, when they had a Rosh Chodesh, it was a special day. Not like today, but they used to celebrate Mamash, like a Yom Tov. They used to celebrate, they used to have a gathering, families used to sit down together, ladies wouldn't work on such a day. It was a very special day. Rosh Chodesh was a very special day. The only thing we have today is just we sing it by the Hallel, and if kids go to school, they have a white shirts, which is nice, or they're making Sudat Rosh Chodesh. But in any event, back in the days, Rosh Chodesh was a very big deal. So Yonatan tells David, חברים יקרים, I'm up to פרק כ' פסוק י"ח. ויאמר לו יהונתן, מחר חודש, ונפקדת, כי יפקד מושבך. So Yonatan tells David, tomorrow is Rosh Chodesh, and you will be missed because your seat is going to be empty. Very nice. ושילשת תרד מאוד. And you should go for 3 days. ובאת אל המקום אשר נסתרת שם ביום המעשה, וישבת שם אצל האבן האזל. He tells him, Yonatan tells David, go for 3 days, and after it comes out, after you should, come out, and you should stay near the marker stone. It's a Ibn Ha'azil. It's a Ibn Ha'azil. Stay there, and he tells him, we're going to have kind of a sign. I'm going to have a sign between you and I to verify where is Shaul's, where is he up to? And he tells him, you have the marker stone, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to throw 3 arrows. שלושת החיצים, פסוק כ"א, ואני, פסוק כ' וכ"א, ואני שלושת החיצים צידה אורה, לשלח לי למטרה. I'm going to use these arrows, okay, and to find out, and to give you a sign between you and I. והנה אשלח את הנער, לך מצא את החיצים, אם אמור אומר לנער, הנה החיצים ממך והנה, קחנו ובואה, כי שלום לך ואין דבר, חי אדוני. ואם כה אומר לעלם, הנה החיצים ממך והלאה, לך כי שלחך אדוני. So Yonatan tells David, here is the sign. He tells him, this is going to be the marker stone. Here's the marker stone. And he tells him, Kach, I'm going to throw 1 arrow towards the target. Now, if I'm going to say to my boy, my na'ar, the one who walks with me, go get the arrows. I need the arrows back. Now, if I'm going to tell the kid, הנה החיצים ממך והנה, meaning it's on your side, it's next to you. So that's a sign for you, David, to come out from your place. It means there is peace. But if I'm going to send the kid, go bring me the arrow, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to send the 2nd and 3rd arrows after the target. So I'm going to have to tell the kid, don't go there. The arrows are beyond. You have to go, mimecha vehala. Keep going and get the arrows. Once again, this is the marker stone. And he tells David the following, I'm going to throw 1 arrow, and I'm going to tell the Na'ar, go get it. After I'm going to send him, I'm going to throw another 2 arrows. And the 2 arrows, if I'm going to send the arrows, which are going to be next to him, so I'm going to tell the Na'ar, Hineha hitzim mimecha vahena. Don't go far. The arrows are next to you, bring it to me. That's a sign for David that everything is in peace. Mimecha vahena. The arrows are next to you, boy, bring it back. You're going to watch me doing this, and if I'm going to tell to the Na'ar, the ahitzim mimecha vahena, the arrows are next to you, so you should know, David, you have nothing what to worry. So come out from the place that you're hiding and come to me. But if I'm going to tell the boy, Mimecha vehala, meaning I'm going to send the boy, go bring me the arrow, and I'm going to shoot another two, but those two are going to throw after the marker stone. So I'm going to have to tell him, hey, you, Nar, where are you going? The arrows are Mimecha vehala. You have to go and go beyond. And because the arrows are right there. Far. And if I'm going to tell the Na'ar, the arrows are far away, that's a sign for you, David. Stay far away and go and don't come out. Because that's dangerous. So Yonatan and David, they had a sign to find out what's the story with Shaul. Is Shaul against David? Is Shaul, did he change his mind? And David is in a peace place? Or God forbid, Shaul hates David and he wants to kill him, and David has to be very careful. So that's the sign that was between Yonatan and David to find out what's Shaul's, where is he holding. חברים יקרים, אומר הנביא, פסוק כ"ד, ויסתר דוד בשדה, ויהי החודש, וישב המלך אל הלחם לאכול, וישב המלך על מושבו כפעם בפעם אל מושב הקיר, ויקום יהונתן, וישב אבנר מצד שאול, ויפקד מקום דוד. Shaul HaMelech, King Shaul, he sits, and they have the Seudat Rosh Chodesh, they celebrate Rosh Chodesh, and Avner, which was Shaul's commander, he sits next to the king, and one seat next to Shaul was empty, and the seat after was for Yonatan. Shaul sits, and everybody is there together with the king, but there is one seat which was empty. That seat was David's. David was Shaul's son-in-law. So now, Yonatan is not sitting next to his father. Who is sitting next to his father? David, the son-in-law. Vayipaked makom David. David's chair was left out. David is not there. What happened now? אומר הנביא, ולא דיבר שאול מאומה ביום ההוא, כי אמר מקרה הוא בלתי טהור, הוא כי לא טהור. Shaul, the first day of Rosh Chodesh, he sits there, Shaul sits there, and he doesn't say a word. Why? Mikre. It happens. Maybe he's busy. Maybe something happened to him. It's fine. ויהי ממחרת החודש השני. Second day. ויפקד מקום דוד. And David is missed. He's left out. ויאמר שאול אל יונתן בנו. מדוע לא בא בן ישי גם תמול גם היום אל הלחם? How come David, Ben Yishai? He doesn't mention even his name, David. He calls him Ben Yishai. He says, how come Ben Yishai, he's not here today and yesterday? Something is going on? That's something suspicious. First day he's not here. Fine, it makes sense. By 2 days he's not here. And Havarim Ekarim, my dear friends, the Hachamim tell us, when somebody doesn't like someone, or even if he hates him, do you know what does it mean? When you hate somebody, you cannot mention his name. When you love someone, אומר החידה כך, כי טבע האוהב להזכיר שם אוהבו. You hear this? Someone who likes his friends, someone who loves his friend, the teva, the nature is to call him by his first name. You hear this? If you love somebody, if you like him, the nature is that you're going to call him by his first name. Avar klape hasoneh, when you hate somebody, you cannot call him by his name. You can't. We found it many times in the Torah and also here. When Am Yisrael, they complained against Moshe Rabbeinu, מה כתוב? They said, וכי מה הועיל בן עמרם? You hear that? הם לא אמרו, what did Moshe help us? What benefit did we got from Moshe? They said, what benefit we got from Amram's son? Why is it? Because when you don't like somebody, when you hate somebody, you cannot call him by his name. Can you tell that guy over there? Can you say something to that? To this guy, you can't call him by his name because you hate him. Here, it seems very obvious where Shaul is holding. Ma hu omer? He says, "Madua lo ba ben Yishai." How come the son of Yishai is not here? Lama lo omer David. Oh, that's already a sign that he doesn't like him. That's already a sign that he hates him. Omer HaNavi, Vayan Yonatan and Shaul. Yonatan respond to his father. Nish'al David me'imadi ad Bet Lahem. ויאמר שלחני נא כי זבח משפחה לנו בעיר והוא ציווה לאחי ועתה אם מצאתי חן בעיניך אם מלטנה ואראה את אחי על כן לא בא אל השולחן המלך. It says, Yonatan tells his father, Dad, the truth is, he asked for permission because his family, they have also, they celebrate. They have an event. So he went to stay with his family to be with them. ויחר אף שאול ביונתן. And Shaul got so upset, got so angry on his son Yonatan, ויאמר לו, and he told him, בן נעבת המרדות, הלא ידעתי כי בוחר אתה לבן ישי לבושתך ולבושת ערוות אמך. איזה מילים, what kind of words Shaul is telling his son. Just bear with me for 1 minute. ככל הימים אשר בן ישי חי על האדמה, לא תיכון אתה ומלכותך, ועתה שלח וקח אותו אליי, כי בן מוות הוא. What's flying over here? What's going on over here? I want to give a little bit of this background, what happened. To understand this pasuk, Rashi and the Mefarshim explain, if you remember, the last Perek of Sefer Shoftim, there is a sad story. The story goes, it's called Pilegesh Bagiv'ah. If you know the story there, it's a sad story because of what happened to Am Yisrael. It was Ma'aseh, a story with Shevet Binyamin, which what they did, it was somebody hosted someone and with his wife, and Shevet Binyamin, like Sodom, they got together and they banged on his door, give us your guest. And the purpose was obvious why. And he told them, why you want to do this to my guest? It's not nice. No, you have to. So instead, they sent them to the people that were outside of Shevet Binyamin. They sent the Pilegesh, the wife. V'em'enu ota the whole night. What they did to her was very sad the whole night. Right before the sunrise, they sent her away. So she came to the Baal Habayit, the one who hosts them, As she got to the door, she clapped and she died. Because whatever they did to her. The husband was very mad. He took his wife and he cut her to 12 pieces. And he went around all the tribes of Am Yisrael. This is what Shevet Binyamin did to us, to me. How could he be quiet? Riots! Go do something! Shevet Binyamin was the only one who was left out. And all Am Yisrael got together to give Ad Binyamin, to ask for the people who did this act. It's terrible. Shevet Binyamin, not only that they did not give the people to Am Yisrael לעשות mishpat, rather they went to protect the brothers. And that's what got Am Yisrael very mad. And was a war, and 70,000 people died. Milhemet Ahim. Milhemet Ahim. We don't find any story like this before. Since Avraham Avinu and Bichlal in our history, we don't find such a story that we see that the brothers, our own brothers, the first 2 days, Am Yisrael lost. They lost big time. The last day, it was the third time they went to a war against Shevet Binyamin. That's the day that Am Yisrael almost wiped Shevet Binyamin, and they left only with 600 people. You can imagine almost a whole tribe got wiped out. Am Yisrael made a promise: we're not going to give our daughters to Shevet Binyamin. Shevet Binyamin already, they had no daughters. And what's going to happen now, 600 people, within a couple of years, that's it. This tribe is going to be wiped out. No daughters, no marriage. We're not going to give any of our daughters to this tribe. And that's how Shevet Binyamin is going to get wiped out. They made a promise: we're not going to give our daughters there to Shevet Binyamin. In any event, it was a very, very sad story. To our history, if you read our history, that's one of the biggest sad stories that happened to us. Milhemet Ahim, you talk about 70,000 people died. If you take, since we got the Israeli IDF, since day one, we don't have 70,000 soldiers who died. And we got maybe to the numbers of 30, 40,000 maybe. Within 70 years. And here, within 3 days, 70,000 people died. You can think about it, 70,000 people died. על כל פנים, חברים יקרים, after this whole event, כתוב עם ישראל ישבו ובכו. They sat down and cried. How such a thing could happen to us? How such a thing could happen that the whole tribe got wiped out? How can this thing, how did it happen? Hashbon nefesh. Also, they knew that if we're going to miss a tribe, there is no way we could have Shekhinah. There is no way we could have Shekhinah by Am Yisrael. If we lose a tribe, that's it. Am Yisrael is lost forever. And they were thinking, how could we fix whatever happened, and how we could help Shevet Binyamin to rebuild himself again. We have one big problem. The problem is that we made a promise we're not going to give our daughters to them. You cannot change this neder. The neder, you can't. There is no Hatarat Nedarim for that, because they knew there was no Hatarat Nedarim. We knew exactly what we want, and Hatarat Nedarim was very clear. So the only loophole that they found out was which people did not come to the war. It was the people of Yavesh Gilad. So the people of Yavesh Gilad, them lo hayu part of the promise. So they said the loophole that they found was that we are going, because the people of Yavesh Gilad, they were not a part of this whole promise, so they could give their daughters to Shevet Binyamin. So what they did, they had 600 boys who went to the city of Yavesh Gilad, and their job was lahtof bahura. Lahtof. You see a girl, take her. Meaning, we made a promise, we know that we're not going to give you. But if you take on your own, that's allowed. That's the loophole that they found with this neder, with this promise. We're not going to give you. But if you go and you take one, that's allowed. So they find this loophole how to try to help Shevet Binyamin to rebuild themselves, again. So 600 Bahurim, young adults from Shevet Binyamin, they went to this to Yavesh Gilad, and there they had a whole gathering of girls, and each one took one. Shaul was part of the 600 people. He was young. He was part of the 600 people. Ma'asa Shaul, he was so shy. He was so shy. He came there, he couldn't take anything. He was so shy. You know what happened? The girl came to him, he hatfa oto. She went to him, she grabbed him, she took him. Yeah, she took him. Oh. Now, my friend, listen to this. This is amazing, amazing math over here, what happened. So now, watch this. She came and she took Shaul. He hatfa oto because Shaul was so shy. Who came from this marriage? Yonatan. Yonatan came from this marriage. Now, let's think for 1 second. A normal kid will not rebel against his father. A normal kid would not rebel against his father. I'm not talking when you're a kid or when you're a teenager. I'm talking when you're an adult, you're 30, 40, 50. So a normal kid would not rebel against his father. That's one. Second, if you're going to find a kid who's going to rebel against his father, a normal case it will be, let's say a father is a king. So we do find a case where a kid rebelled against his father. It was Avshalom against David. What was the story? The story by Avshalom and David. David was a king. Avshalom rebelled against his father to take the kingdom away from his father to himself. That we can hear. A father has a business, has a company. So you see a kid could rebel against his father, he'll have him sign the papers and he'll take the company from his father and it's going to throw it to the dogs. There is stories. There's plenty of stories that kids do it. So yes, a normal kid would not rebel against his father. But if you do find a story that a kid rebelled against his father, it's because he wants to take something from his father to himself. But you'll never hear a story that a kid is going to rebel against his father, not to take away from his father to himself, but to take from his father to give it to somebody else. That doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And that's what happened here. Shaul does not get Yonatan his son. What are you doing? I'm the king. The one who has to take the kingdom after me, it's you, Yonatan. Instead of you taking over my kingdom to become the king, what are you doing? You're getting together with David, you become his best friend against me, and you're taking away the kingdom from me and you're giving it away to somebody else? What's wrong with you? Do you know what people are going to say? Wow. Ben Na'avat HaMardut. This kid who rebelled against his father, you know why? Leboshet, leboshtecha ulboshet ervat imecha. People are going to say, which son hates his father? Which son he takes from his kingdom from his father to somebody else, you know what they're going to say? It's a busha to your mother. You're embarrassing your mother. Why are you embarrassing your mother? You're embarrassing your mother because what you're doing is you're proving a point that you cannot be the king. And why can't you be the king? It's because of how your mother acted. Verse David, which he came from Ruth. And what happened by Ruth and Boaz? We find Chaya shamat tzniut. So David, he's getting the kingdom because of the tzniut, the modesty of his mother and his great-grandmother. Verse you, Yonatan, what you're doing is, if you're taking away the melucha, the kingdom, to other people, people are going to say, you know why he's not a king? He cannot be a king. Look what happened to his mother. אומר פה האבא, כי בוחר אתה לישי לבושתך ולבושת ערבת אמך. You're putting your mother down because you're showing that how come that you're not a king? It's because how your mother acted. She took me. היא חטפה אותי, she grabbed me. מה זה צריך להיות? Meaning your act shows, it reflects the story of your mother, and that's why you're not going to become the king. So what are you doing? And he shambles him. Ben na'abata mardut, אתה מורד. It's because of your mother. That's what people are going to say. What are you doing? כי כל הימים אשר בן ישי חלה אדמה, לא תיכון אתה ומלכותך. ואתה שלח וקח אותו אליי כבן מוות הוא. Shaul is fighting and he wants Yonatan to become the king, and he tells him, bring me this man and I want to kill him. That he wants to make he wants to ensure that his son takes over his kingdom. חברים יקרים, ויען יונתן את שאול אביו, ויאמר אליו, למה יומת? מה עשה? He wonders and he tells his father, Daddy, what exactly did David do that you're so against him? ויתול שאול את החנית עליו להכותו. Shaul takes the hanit, he takes a spear, and he wants to kill his own son. Wow. וידע יונתן כי חלה עם אביו להמית את דוד. He knows now very clear, that his father wants to kill David. It's not even a question. מה הוא עושה? ויקום יונתן מעם השולחן בחורי אף. And Yonatan got up, he left the table, ולא אכל, he did not eat. ביום החודש השני לחם, כי נעצב אל דוד כי החלימו אביו. Yonatan got, he was very upset. He got up, he didn't want to eat. Why? כי נעצב אל דוד כי החלימו אביו. What does it mean? He felt bad for David. That's why he left. But to the people around him, he said, my father, he shambled me, he embarrassed me. So he left. So to the people, when they saw Yonatan got up, they understood it, he left the table. It's because his father shambled him. But the truth is, he didn't, he left it only because kina'atzav el David. He felt so bad. How come my father wants to kill David? ויהי בבוקר, the next morning, ויצא יונתן השדה למועד דוד ונער קטון עמו. And David, he left in the morning, and ויאמר לנערו, רוץ, מצא את החצים אשר אנוכי מורה. הנער רץ, והוא ירה החצי להעבירו. It says, Yonatan tells his na'ar, his attendant, go get me the hitzim, the arrows. And we have to understand, why is Yonatan has a son with David with arrows? Why can't you just go to him and tell him straight, David, it's dangerous, run away, my father wants to kill you? Why he's using hitzim, arrows, to tell him what's going on in the palace, what's going on with his father Shaul. Why is it? The Gemara says in Masechet Archin, Bedaf Tetvam, Yesh pasuk, Hetz Shahut Leshonam. A pasuk בספר ירמיה בפרק ט', it says Hetz Shahut Leshonam. What does it mean? The same way an arrow could kill a person from far away, so too Lashon Hara could also kill people far away. You could be here and somebody calls you, hello, how is Joe? To them, why? No, I just want to find out for business. Can I do a deal with him? Joe? Stay away. That's it. You just killed the guy. You killed the guy. You call somebody, you want to find out about the shidduch, about a girl. How is Sarah? Oh, just, I don't know. I heard she has pills, she has some issues. Boom, you killed her. You could be here, she could be in Mexico, she could be in Panama, she could be in Florida, she could be anywhere. He or she, it doesn't make no difference. Lashon hara, the bidiyuk, it's exactly like an arrow, more heads. What's an arrow? You're here, and you shoot an arrow far away, and it kills a person. Hazal tell us, Lashon hara is the same thing. So, that's nekuda rishona. That's one point. Second, how many arrows he's using over here? 3. Yefeh mod. Why is using 3 arrows? Abotai, Yonatan was so careful. Even though he has no issue, he's allowed to say to David that his father wants to kill him. There is no lashon hara over here. There is no lashon hara. The opposite, he wants to save David from his father. So bevadai, there is no lashon hara over here. But Yonatan is not taking any risk with lashon hara. So what he does not want to say anything from his mouth. He doesn't want any information or wrong information to come out from his mouth. What he does signs. I'm not doing anything. I'm going to have a sign, that's the sign, that's it. He's using 3 arrows. Why is it? Gemara says, do you know what is Lashon hara? Omeret Gemara be'archim. Lashon hara, katil telitai. Lashon hara kills 3 people. Who? Lemesapro, lemekablo, vela omrin alav. When you speak Lashon hara kills the person that says Lashon hara. Lashon hara kills the person who accepted Lashon hara, and Lashon hara also kills the person that they said Lashon hara on, about. Okay? Once again, you speak Lashon hara, you kill yourself, you kill your friend that you spoke Lashon hara, and also the person that you spoke Lashon hara about him. I saw once, it's a story, Agadah. It's a nice story, Agadah. What does it mean that Lashon hara kills 3 people? And by the way, that's why, he's using arrows, and also he's using 3 arrows. Why? That's the sign of Lashon hara. So he's being very careful not to say Lashon hara. So he says to David, I'll do a sign with you. And the sign is going to tell you exactly what's the situation. But he's not saying Lashon hara. Especially, even when you do have a ter to say Lashon hara, right? But you always go extra 10 miles. So you never win. You'll never win. So let me be very clear. Let me give you the 3 arrows, and that's the sign that you'll know what happened. Anyway, why he's using 3 arrows? So we just brought the Gemara that says why? Because Lashon hara kills people. So I saw a very midrash, agadah story. They say a story. What's the story? It was a father who had 3 daughters. Okay, a father who had 3 daughters, but they got already old, late 30s. And what was the issue? Late 30s, no one got married. What happened? Sitting home with the father. It's sad. So one day, his friend comes over to him and he tells him, David, what's going on? How come your daughters are not married? He tells him, listen, I have 3 daughters, and listen, I have a little issue. He tells him, what's the issue? I have 3 kids. You have 3 boys. I have 3 boys. You have 3 daughters. Let them get married. Let's do shidduch. Your 3 daughters shall marry my 3 boys. Tells them, listen, I love you very dearly. We are very close friends, but I have a little problem. I have one daughter, she's so lazy. Oh, she's so lazy. The house is never clean. She never does her job. She never does work. You say, I give her something to do, it takes 3 days to get done. She never finishes anything. She's a lazy. And all the boys, no one wants her. No one wants her. How can he marry a girl who's lazy? And that's one. The second, she's a thief. She goes to the store, she steals. She goes to the friends, she steals. There is problems. No one wants her. And the third one, this one, Hashem Yishmor. She's a walking radio. Lashon hara kol hayom. Kol hayom מדברת all day long. She says stories lashon hara. Amar, listen, I'm stuck with 3 daughters. One is lazy, one is a thief, and one is lashon hara. No one wants them. Amar, Habibi, you know what? I could fix this problem. Don't worry. Let's do shidduch. What do you mean you want to fix the problem? So listen, I have money. And Baruch Hashem, I have enough money. To the first one, don't worry. I'm going to tell her, hon, you don't have to do anything. We're going to get you 7 chadamis. Not 1, 7. Don't do anything. I'll pay for the maid servants. And she stay home, stay in your bed, stay in the kitchen, stay in the living room, do nothing. And the house is always going to look nice. Breakfast, this maid is going to make breakfast, the other one is going to make lunch, the other one is going to make dinner, the other one is going to do the laundry, the other one is going to clean the car and the house. Don't worry. Okay? Very nice. What about the second one, the thief? Mula Habibi, I'm going to give her my keys to the treasure. Whatever you want, take. Whatever you want, take. Okay. And what about the third one, Lashon hara? He said, listen, when people speak Lashon hara, it's when they're not happy, they're depressed, they're very, they're angry, they're not happy. If I will make sure that every day she'll be happy, I'm sure it's going to work out. She's not going to say Lashon hara. Okay. The father said, listen, I got the deal of my life. Yalla, 3 boys, 3 of his sons got married to the 3 daughters of his friends. בשעה טובה ומוצלחת, כל ששון וכל שמחה, כל חתן וכל כלה, כל עצלה וכל גנבת, הכל, everything is going to work beautiful. All right, they got married. Okay, they got married. The father was so curious to find out how's the marriage. The first 3 months got to be very quiet. You can't get involved. You better stay away. After 6, 7 months, he wants to find out how is his daughters are doing. He wants to find out how his daughters are doing. Are they happy? Are they not happy? So he goes to the first daughter and he tells her, my dear, how is marriage? How is life? He tells him, Daddy, how much I love you. How much I love you. You have no idea. I said, why? My father-in-law. I'm so happy. I'm so happy with my husband. I do nothing in this house. When I was single with you, every morning you give me a whole musar shmuz. Do this, what's going to happen, you're not going to get married. And look, I do nothing and I live so happy. I'm very happy in my marriage. Honey. Wow, the father was so happy. Second daughter, the one who had a problem with, she's a thief. He went to her house to see how she's doing, how is her marriage. He goes to her house, he meets her, how are you, my daughter, how is everything? Daddy, may God bless you. You have no idea. I live so nice. I live so happy. I have no problem. I have all the money, whatever I need. He gave me the key. I can do whatever I want. You know, when you know that you can do whatever you want, you have no yetzara. Mayim genuvim im taku, right? Mayim genuvim im taku. Stolen water tastes better. Now that I have, I have the key. He lets me go in and out. I have no problem. Okay. Now the father went to the third daughter. He comes to her. How are you, my daughter? She starts to cry. And cry. Daddy, what you did to me? What happened? What happened? You think I got married to one person? I got married to two people. What does it mean? My father comes to me every day. He comes to me every day. You know what? If you don't believe me, stay in the room. Come tomorrow, stay in the room, and you'll see what happens here. Whoa. Hashem Yishmo. Maya, the father-in-law, used to come to her every morning. How are you? Are you good? You happy? Fine? Goodbye. Why? He believed, when people say Lashon Hara, when they're not happy. When you're not happy, you say Lashon Hara. But if you're happy, there's no reason to speak Lashon Hara. So he would go every morning to find out, are you happy? Is everything okay? Do you need something? Yeah, okay. She, Mayamra, Daddy, don't ask. I got married to two people, my husband and my father-in-law. Don't ask. All right. I know you don't believe me. Guess what? Stay here and watch what's gonna happen tomorrow morning. All right. The father got so scared, got so mad. What's going on over here? Is this true? The next thing you know, he's hiding in the closet. It comes the morning. All right. And the father-in-law comes. He rings the bell. Opens the door, and sure enough, the same routine. Hi, how are you? Is everything okay? And she starts to yell, what are you doing here? Why are you coming again? The father saw, he got so mad. He came out of the closet. He starts to beat him up. He took a knife and he killed him. What? He killed him. The husband, here is yelling and screaming. He runs downstairs and he sees his father-in-law with the knife. Killed his father. What? You killed my father? He takes a knife and he kills his father-in-law. Wow. Who is there? Their wife. All the family came. What happened? What's going on? So she's playing dumb. I don't know. This is what happened. I said to my father, this is what happened. This is what happened. The brother heard that because of her, the father died. The brothers got up and they killed her. Masipu, Lashon Hara killed 3 people. The father-in-law, he believed Lashon Hara you speak only when you're not happy. And the truth is, Lashon Hara you speak whether you're happy and you're not happy. Lashon Hara, the Lashon Hara. So what happened was, she spoke Lashon Hara on her father-in-law. What happened? He got killed, the father got killed, and she got killed. Lashon Hara horeg 3 anashim. That's the Agadah. That's the story that explains the Gemara over here. In any event, here we have Shaul and Yonatan and David. And Yonatan was very careful not to speak Lashon Hara. And what he does, he's using 3 arrows. And that's exactly what happened. My dear friends, בוא נראה מה כתוב בנביא, let's continue. אומר הנביא, in the morning, Yonatan went to the field, and he did his sign, and what happened? David got the message. רבותיי, מה כתוב? פסוק ל"ח, ויקרא יהונתן אחרי הנער מהר החושה, אל תעמוד וילק את נער יהונתן את החיצים ויבוא אל אדוניו, והנער לא ידע מאומה. David is hiding there, and Yonatan is throwing the arrows. He has no idea what's flying over here, that there is a sign between David and Yonatan, and David is hiding over there, and all of a sudden, מה כתוב? ויתן יונתן את כליו אל הנער אשר לו, ואמר לו, לך בעיר. He tells his attendant, boy, take this and go to the city. הנער בא, the attendant boy came to the city, ודוד קם מאצל הנגב. And David got up from his hiding place, ויפול לאפיו ארצה, וישתחו 3 פעמים, and he bowed down 3 times, וישקו איש את רעהו, and each man kissed the other person, meaning Yonatan and David, they kiss each other, ויבכו איש את רעהו. מה כתוב? And they cried with one another. And David higdil. David cried more than Yonatan. I want to pause for 1 second. I really want to pause for 1 second. It says here that Yonatan and David, they knew that the future from this second and on is not going to be no longer the same. No longer the same. The future from now on is not going to be the same. Yonatan is going to escape. David is going to escape. And who knows what's going to happen? And who knows what's going to be? And David and Yonatan, they both cried. Bachu. But David bacha more. David higdil. When you read this, when you read the Pesukim and you hear 2 people are crying, it makes sense. We're going to separate now. It's very hard. But when you read that David cried more than Yonatan, why does the Navi emphasize that David higdil, he cried even more? I saw a beautiful pshat, an amazing pshat about this pasuk. The simple pshat, when you hear that they cry and you hear that David cried more, it's simple. Why? Yonatan is going to miss David. David is going to miss Yonatan. It makes sense why they both cry. But why David is crying more than Yonatan? It makes sense. Because Yonatan is going to, from here, is going to go back to his home, and David is going to have to run away. He's going on an exile. He's going to have to run away. He's going to have to flee from one place to another. He's going to have to leave the country. He's going to have to hide in caves. He's going to have to run to En Gedi. He's going to have to run to the Midbar Ziv, to the desert. He's in dangerous hazit. So it makes sense why David higdil. That's when you read the simple pshat. But I saw a pirush from a book, from a sefer. I saw this pshat in a sefer, that the one who said this pshat is a rabbi that had to leave his shul. It was on Tuesday, Parashat Shoftim, Taf Resh Nun Tet. You're talking about almost 120 years ago. I saw this pshat in a sefer. It's called Lechem Shlomo. This rabbi had to leave his community. He left a different community. So the day that he left his community, he gave a speech. And he gave a speech about this pasuk. And this is what I want to share with my friends over here. He says, he brought this pasuk down. He brought this story. And he says, why is it that David cried more than Yonatan? Not the way we learn today. That's the pshat. But he takes it to a different level, a whole different level. And he says the following. He says, David, not that he cried because now what's going to happen to me. He cried because he sees Yonatan is crying. He sees Yonatan is going to miss him. And he sees Yonatan is in pain. So Yonatan is in pain. David is crying because he sees Yonatan is in pain. And Yonatan sees David, and he knows that David is going to miss him. So that's why he's crying. Each one is crying not because of his own pain. My pain is not because I'm going to leave you. My pain is that I see you in pain. And that's what's bothering me. And that's why I'm in pain. And that's why I'm crying. I'm not crying because I'm going to leave you. Yes, you go to JFK, you go to the airport, and you see friends, family members, you see parents with kids, you see after the holiday Pesach, when the kids have to say goodbye to their parents, and it hurts, and they cry. But why does the mother cry when her daughter has to leave? Because she's going to miss her. So it's about your emotions. It's about you feel now, my daughter leaves me. So it's about you. You feel the pain. But here it's just the opposite. I see my friend that he's going to miss me, and I see him, he cries. So my pain is to see you in pain. And the same way was Yonatan towards David. And that's why it says in the Pasuk, Va'ifku ish et re'ehu. Va'ifku ish et re'ehu. David cried because he saw Yonatan is in pain. And Yonatan cried because he saw David in pain. That's why they cried. But do you know who is David? He cried even more. Why he cried more? Because his ahava towards Yonatan was a way much more than Yonatan. Meaning David loves Yonatan and Yonatan loved David. But the love that David had towards Yonatan, that when he saw Yonatan is in pain, to see him in pain, it did to David so much that David even cried more than Yonatan. Meaning the sensitivity that David had towards Yonatan was an extra pound. Yonatan was great, but the Navi emphasized that David was much more. And that's what the rabbi gave to his community. He lives them. And he says, yes, I know that we're going to miss each other, but our way, what we feel here, that was the speech. Yom Gimel Parashat Shoftim Tafresh Nun Tet. This is, we're talking about 120 something years ago. Okay, yeah. So this is a pshat I saw in this beautiful book, Lechem Shalomo. It was beautiful pshat. So he's saying to his community, we're going to separate, but my pain is to see you in pain, and your pain is to see me in my pain when when we leave each other. So that's what we're talking about David, the greatness of David and Yonatan. ויאמר יונתן לדוד, לך לשלום אשר נשבענו שנינו אנחנו בשם השם לאמור, השם יהיה ביני ובינך ובזרעך עד עולם. I want to end with a beautiful, beautiful pshat. Beautiful pshat. There's a sefer which I love so much. It's called Tzeror Hamor. This wonderful book, Rabbi Yitzhak Sabah. He was at the time of the Bet Yosef. He has a sefer Tzeror Hamor in Parashat Vayhi. He brings down the hesped, the eulogy that David said about Yonatan. Haberim Bekarim, if you don't mind, if you have the sefer Shmuel with you, open to Shmuel Bet, Perek Alef. It's Shmuel Bet, Perek Alef. When David HaMelech, he cried on Shaul and Yonatan when they got killed in the war, במלחמת פלישתים. David, towards the end of the Perek, Pasuk Chavav, צר לי עליך אחי יונתן, נעמת לי מאוד, נפלאתה אהבתך לי מאהבת נשים. David HaMelech says here, Yonatan, you are so pleasant to me. your love was more wonders than the love of a woman. What's going on over here? What exactly is he saying? He says to him, you were so pleasant, it makes sense. But he tells in the funeral, he says in the eulogy towards Yonatan, Niflata ahabatecha li me'ahavat nashim. Your love was more wondrous to me than love of a woman. What's going on over here? So there is a Ramah Mipano that Be'ezat Hashem, once we're going to get here, we're going to learn about this. It's a beautiful pshat. But I want to read the Sefer Tzeror Hamor, what he says. And this is a diamond, what he says. He says, Kach, Haverim Mekarim, please pay attention to this piece. This is an unbelievable pshat, what he says. He says, Kacha, what does it mean that your love to me, it was like love of a woman? He says, Kach, Omer, that the love that was David and Yonatan, the love that they had, it was the love that a woman had towards, the wife has towards her husband. And he explains. I'm reading this from inside. Matzino, we find, Shehanashim ohavot leba'alehen. We find that the wives love their husbands shelo keterech hateva. The way a wife loves her husband is not something normal. It doesn't make sense. It's something against nature. Why? Ki hanashim. Haverim ikarim, listen to the words. Because the ladies, the wives, yodot shehen mitabrot mi ba'alehen. They know that they get pregnant from their husband. When she is in labor, when she is in pain, and they are in a big, big pain, they know they know that the pain it became of the husband. You hear this? They know that the pain that they have, all the pain it's because of the husband. Ve'im kol zeh. Even though they know while they're in labor and they're in pain and they know it's because of the husband, וכשיבואו לצירים והחבלים, יתחבק בעלה עמה ויקחיה על זרעותיו. She loves him. I want you to be with me. We're going to go to the doctor together. We're going to go to the hospital together. I want you to be in the room with me. Hello. Kick him out of there. Why do you want him next to you? Look what happened to you. You're in pain because of him. He says, V'zeh pele gadol. And this is something that doesn't make no sense. It's a wonder. Ki yodat sheba'ala asa la zehara. That's his words. She knows that the husband brought this ra. Ve'az ohevet oto yoter. During labor and after it was also, the wife wants the husband next to her. The wife loves him more than any other time. When it comes times of labor, she needs him. She needs him. Omer de pele. It doesn't make no sense. Omer Arav Tzoror Hamor, V'chen Yonatan. The same way was Yonatan and David. What? Yonatan haya yodea sheDavid yikach malchuto. Yonatan knew that David is going to take his kingdom away. Ve'im kol zeh, haya ohev oto kenafsho. He loved him so much, like he loved himself. And he says, and that's the pshat. Niflata ahabatecha li me'ahavat nashim. Ratzah lomar, your love that you have towards me, it's like the wife, when they love the husband, when something bad comes to them because of the husband. Omer, זה לא נורמלי how a wife wants, she's in pain, she's in tzar gadol, and yet She wants the husband more than any other time. And she wants him so badly. And she loves him. It doesn't make sense. He caused you bra. Yet she loved him. אומר הרב, זה הפשט שהיה עם יהונתן. And that's the pshat that David HaMelech בשעת, during the funeral, during the eulogy. מה הוא אומר? He says, נפלאתה אהבתך לי מאהבת נשים. Your love towards me was like a wife who loves her husband during time of suffer. Meaning, Yonatan, you know that I'm taking, by you giving me whatever you give me, I'm taking away your kingdom. You're going to lose your position. You're losing your kingdom. You can become the king. Yet, you're giving me the kingdom and you love me? You're losing the kingdom and you love me? That's ahavat isha leba'ala. זה פירוש נפלא מאוד. It's a beautiful pshat. The way he explained the Tzipora more, it's a beautiful pshat. And that just fits to our Perek. I really recommend to look, if you have the book Tzipora more in Parashat Vayhi, to look the words inside. It's a beautiful pshat. ובזה נסיים the Perek with this beautiful pshat של הרב tzipora more. Bezat Hashem, next week we're going to have a class on Pesach. בשעה טובה, שהשם ייתן לנו כוח ובריאות. ולכולכם, all of you בעזרת השם, תזכו למצוות ולילה טוב.